Hello Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising. These are your messages for December. So sorry they're so late. It's late on a Sunday evening here, but I'm going to try to get these recorded. So let's have a look. The first card that we have coming up for you is the Ace of Pentacles. And this is your underlying energy. It's a brilliant card to get as an underlying energy, especially for you guys, because Pentacles do represent Earth energy and you guys are an Earth sign. Aces are the potential for new beginnings. So when we get the Ace of Pentacles, this is something new that begins, that offers us some level of security, right? That pentacle that this hand is holding out, it's like a divine gift. This can be the gift of money. This can be a new house, a new job, even a new way of making money. I often see with the Ace of Pentacles. If this is a romantic reading for you, like, something to do with your love life, then the Ace of Pentacles, it's a good start. It's saying that, there's now a new cycle that's beginning within your romantic life, within your love life. And that now, this is a cycle that has the potential to stand the test of time. Pentacles are slow energy. You guys know that, right? As an earth sign. And it's slow energy. But the reason it's slow is because every step is taken very carefully, very deliberately. Every kind of brick in that foundation is laid very carefully. That's what makes it such a solid start. And why, Pentacle energies, they do have the potential to stand the test of time, as I said. Great coming up as your underlying energy. We'll see how it plays out in the rest of your reading. The reason I love that card for romantic relationships, like even if you're not starting a new cycle, not starting a new relationship with someone, you may be starting a new cycle within an existing relationship. So it can be that energy. But where aces are the beginnings of cycles, tens are the completions of cycles. So we have the Ten of Cups coming up at the heart of your reading. So when the Ten of Cups shows up, this is often referred to as the happily ever after, right? We see this couple here, very happy. We see the children kind of dancing around. That's their kind of happy little vista, happy life that they have there. The cards that come up at the heart of your reading, they usually indicate what we're focused on, what everything revolves around during that period. Now, Ten of Cups would be a bit of a no-brainer in December. A lot of people celebrate the holidays with families. So this can be celebrations, anything from like a marriage to Christmas, I guess, or, anything like that. It can be reunions, people getting back together. It's groups of people usually, but I think the main energy here, especially if we've got the Ace of Pentacles coming up before it, it feels like there's a new beginning now, and it's related to to get you to this. You're very clear. When the Ten of Cups shows up, you're very clear on what your happily ever after is. And oftentimes that's half the battle. We can sometimes know that we're not happy. We can know that we don't like the situation that we're in, but we're not quite sure where we want to go. Feels with that whenever that Ten of Cups shows up, especially at the heart of your reading, and you have the Ace of Pentacles before this, it's like what makes you happy. You know what your end game is. You know where you're focused. You know where you're going. And, you've got not just that where you're going, but you have Ace of Pentacles coming up first to show there's now a start being made to get you to that point. The Ace of Pentacles, to me, it can be commitment. It's very similar to the Page of Pentacles, in that it can be some kind of an offer that's made to us, so that we don't always begin alone, right? We can begin with other people, especially when the Ten of Cups shows up. So it can be a joint venture, a partnership, something that you're going forward with. And I know it's an ace, it's not a two, but I'm just seeing it there with that ace of, with that Ten of Cups, that there's a kind of group dynamic here, or at least two people. What I have coming up for you as a foundation for your reading, as past energy, is the Star card. Now, the Star card, this is usually, I always say that each of the cards has a darker and a lighter energy. Now, this is one of those cards that I usually will only concentrate on the lighter side, because there isn't really a negative to this, right? It's spiritual guidance, it's hope, it's healing energy. Now, the thing is, when we've had to go for a phase where we've needed healing, it's because we were hurt. And that's why we needed that healing and that time to heal. And as much as healing sounds great, and it's great when you're done, you're all healed and perfect and everything's great again. But the actual healing itself can sometimes be even more painful than when the pain was inflicted in the first place. And I just feel with this coming up in the past, especially with that strong Pentacles energy, or the Ace of Pentacles, and we got the Queen of Pentacles that follows this, especially with that, it feels like not only have you been through healing, it feels like you've you've been going on hope for so long. You've been going on hope for so long, which, you know, this is the card for Aquarius. Some of you may be dealing with an Aquarius, but it's that, I think for any of the other signs, if this came up with this combination, it wouldn't be that, you know, the way that I'm going. It would be more, yeah, you're healed. It's been great. You know, you've got your wish. You know what you're wishing for. It's that kind of energy that, you know, the star here, that star's been guiding you to your dream, to your wish fulfillment. But this is hope returning. And I kind of feel for you guys as a past energy, you guys have been going on hope for so long. That's what all you've had. And the reason I'm saying that is because we have such strong kind of Pentacles energy come out. In the present, we have the Queen of Pentacles. And obviously the Ace of Pentacles sits right above her. So what I will say to you here is that, you know, this is very solid, very tangible energy. Pentacles is always stuff that we can see and, you know, in our life. We can feel it. We can touch it. It's around us. And that's what it relates to money, jobs, like, you know, those very practical, real things. But when you get a card like the Star that comes up in the past, and that's healing and that's hope, that's the intangible, right? But if that's all you've had to go on, especially if you're a sign like you, Taurus, it feels like, you know, that's not been, that may kind of leave you scattered. For some of you, it's been great. Like, you know, that you've been going for a healing phase. I don't think there's very many of you, but for some of you, yeah, you know, you've had that time to heal, to know what your wish is, to know what your dream is. But I just feel if these are coming up as an underlying, the Ace of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles in the present, now you're moving to somewhere that's more solid, and that's going to give you more comfort than the Star card, which I never thought I'd actually say in a reading. But, you know, it's the energy that's coming off this reading. And it feels like now that's been the problem. Like, you've been going off hope, things will get better. You know, that thing of it can't be like this forever. That's the energy I'm getting from the Star card. You've been healing some hurt, maybe just a difficult time you've been going through. But then with the 10 of Cups coming up at the heart, that's what made the difference. Suddenly you now know. And also, like, sometimes when we look at the future and, you know, our happily ever after, it can torture us, right? Because you can look at it and it feels like something that's out of reach. So that combination of the 10 of Cups and the Star is like, you got the hope, you felt healed enough that, you know, I can get this, I can move forward, I can have this end, this emotional, this contentment, happiness. That's what the 10 of Cups represents. It's our complete heart's desire. The 9 of Cups, it's the wish card, yes. But the 10 of Cups is when we attain what will make us happy. And it feels like, yeah, here, that, you know, you're moving forward towards that. And with the Queen of Pentacles coming up in the present, well, she's coming up here. She's very dependable. She's very hardworking. She's earth energy, yes. So a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn. So if that's not your energy, this is someone else that you're dealing with. But her main thing is that she's very hardworking. And she works hard to, you know, provide for her family, to provide for the people that she loves. So for some of you, yes, there is a new way of making money, or a new job, or something, a new cycle that begins with at work. So if some of you have had like money problems, just difficulty at work, it feels like that's evening out. Things are on a much more even keel now, and you're moving forward to attain something, to build something new. Now, in a relationship, it kind of feels like that hope's returned within the relationship as well, that you now, there may still be work that's required within a relationship, or, you know, you might be trying to build something in your love life. Maybe you haven't had any kind of love and you're trying to build something. It may be with another earth sign, or, you know, even when the other person shows up as a court card, that's, you know, our element. So the other person may not be an earth sign, but the fact that they show up in your reading as an earth sign, and it is a general reading, so, you know, the energies can apply to you or to the person that's central to your story right now. But when they show up as an earth sign as well, it's because they're on the same kind of energetic vibration as you. They connect with you at the same vibration. And it's interesting because you have, where does this lead? Well, you have the 8 of Wands coming up. So the 8 of Wands is energy picking up. This is kind of formidable. Think about it. You have that kind of solid grounding energy of all that Pentacles on the left hand side there. That is the left, right? Yeah. And so you have that energy there, but then you almost, this is like, you know, that grounding energy, but then you can also move forward. And it's not the Chariot, but energy does pick up. Now, this can indicate like social media messaging back and forth, information that comes in. The internet is that kind of very fast, speedy kind of, these are called the arrows of love sometimes. So these could be messages of feelings, emotions that are coming in. Now, the reason I'm saying that is we have the Ten of Cups sat above this. So, this could be someone inviting you to somewhere that you never thought, like it's a reunion, right? You never didn't think you'd see them again and they invite you out somewhere, or you get back in touch with someone. What I will say to you is, actually, this is Sunday I'm doing this. So Mercury's gone retrograde, and I know Mercury retrograde gets a really bad reputation, and I don't actually have a problem with Mercury retrograde. I think it's an important opportunity for us to reflect and to, reevaluate and to go back over some information. But it can be that, we kind of can be kind of very rash and very quick, like to send off a message, or we read something and we try to understand it quickly, and we don't fully comprehend what's being said to us. So there can be mistakes that are made, like we just don't understand what's said to us, or this other person does that to our message. So try to be extra careful if you are communicating with someone at this time. But whatever this message is, it seems to make you happy. It leads to this. Now, if it's work, you could be messaging back and forth with a company, or, in business with someone, that it's some kind of communication that is going to lead to this ultimate happiness. But in a relationship, yes, it can be an invitation somewhere. It can be, usually the Eight of Wands isn't an invitation, but if the Ten of Cups is a celebration, a party of some kind, a reunion, that could be someone inviting you to something like that. The only thing I will say, especially for those of you that are in a work situation, the advice card here is the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands, it's a card that talks about competition. It can be when we're competing with others. And this might be when we have to kind of, get back in the fray, as it were. For some of you, it may be in love. Obviously, we can compete for people's affections with other people. But it feels, again, like this Star card. The Star card in the past is loaded. It's loaded with energy. And what it kind of seems to say here is that maybe you've had to take some time off work because you've been healing in some variety. Or, you've not been giving 100%. Maybe in a relationship, you've just not been able to because there's been other stuff going on. But now your hope's returned. And it's almost as if, yeah, you had that, where you... Do I really want this job? Do I really want this relationship? Is this the path that I really want to take in my love life, or, how I go forward? As much as I've been downplaying the Star, it's a beautiful energy. It really is. And whatever you went through with this, it's left you in a stronger position. And now it's telling you to get back in the fray. Now, the Five of Wands, it doesn't have to be competing with anyone. It can be conflict, but internal conflict, where we're not sure. But that time that you took with the Star card, even that's saying that, now what it is, that there might be doubts coming up, but the Eight Wands here and the Eight of Wands, they're very clearly laid out, like they're in formation, and they're parallel lines almost, so you can see clearly through them. Everything's straightforward. We don't have to kind of look for stuff. We don't have to wonder, is this the truth or not? Yes, I was saying like clearly communicate, but this does indicate clear communication. So I do feel some of you may just have that internal conflict. For others of you, this is people getting involved in your business, and you may have to put them straight. And that's what the Eight of Wands is about. But I feel with that, especially when a sign like Taurus gets the Ace of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, with that kind of solid backing, that foundation, what could you not achieve? Ten of Cups, great energy. Star, great healing energy, hope returning. Now things are picking up with that Eight of Wands, things speeding ahead. Just, this is the only kind of one that's kind of telling you, just, you may have to step forward. And the thing is, Taurus, you guys are great kind of solid energy. And I always say this, that, very solid energy. You guys can be very stubborn as well. I'm not getting that here, though. Sometimes you don't always, step forward, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And this is telling you to do that. To compete now. Don't be afraid. If someone's sticking their nose in your business, tell them where to go. If, you have that solid foundation, like I keep saying. So let's have a look at your oracle cards and see what other messages we get from your reading. So I'm going to read the first two together because they're at the same message. We have from the romance angels, getting to know each other. And it says, as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens, right? God, this is so funny. There we go. And then we have from the whispers of love, get to know each other. Learning to meet another's need for love is important for a relationship to grow. There we go. So they're the same. The messages here are identical. Now, why is that coming up? What does that mean? I got the hit of that when I was a kid, especially with that learning to meet another's need for love. You may have to defend someone. And usually the Seven of Wands is the defending. But this might be having to fight for someone, you know, having to kind of set someone straight. That maybe you were off healing and someone tried to step, kind of, not step on your, yeah, step on your toes, I guess, or maybe make a play for your partner. But there is this, right? The Eight of Wands. That's the communication card. So who are you getting to know? It's really great, though. It's really great. I think some of you have had this thing where you've maybe kind of backed away. Like you haven't been getting that involved with people. You haven't been, even if you're in a relationship, maybe from your partner as well, you've kind of gone quiet. I know Taurus, you guys can do that sometimes, especially when you've got a lot going on. And now, you know, because you've got all that Pentacles energy, you now feels more stable, stronger to progress forward. You're back communicating. You're back maybe, you know, interacting with people that you love. And you're now back on that path. Like maybe you took a break with that star. Now you're back going for what it is that you want, for that happily ever after that you want. Now, this we have from the wisdom of the Oracle number 17, the Fates. And the Fates, it's very, very similar to the Star card. I mean, they even look the same. And this card's too shiny. I don't know if you're able to see it. Hopefully you'll see it clearly on the side there. But yeah, there's a woman, a naked woman as well. And she's got stars above there as well. And I think in the book, it's very clearly, you know, the meaning of this card, it can be kind of summed up by the Serenity Prayer. Let me see if I can remember it. It's, you know, God, the universe, spirit, whatever you believe in, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, to change the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That's a Serenity Prayer. But yeah, so this is what this card says. It's like, it's the fates, right? Some things are fated to happen, but even when things are fated, that's opportunities that come away. So, oh gosh, this is an opportunity that comes our way. Now, when an opportunity comes our way, what do we do with it? Some of us will take it. Some of us, I feel with the Queen of Pentacles there, most of you will take it. But that's what this is saying. It's saying that, you know, some things we can run with, that even it's just an opportunity. That's what fate is. And we turn that fate into destiny by our own free will. And that's by knowing what to do with it. And it feels also, that's this, you know, the kind of going on hope for so long. That maybe that was the courage that you needed. And that's the Strength card usually. But, you know, with the Star card here as well, it's that hope. Having courage requires hope as well. No one's going to go and win a battle if they know they're going to lose. No matter how brave and courageous you are. If it's just you against an army of 200, like, you know, you're not going to you're not going to have that hope. So you kind of need hope that I'm going to, this is what that hope was. It feels like you've been doing that. You've gone through that courage. And now it feels like you're changing the things that need to be changed. Maybe even saying the things that need to be said with the Eight of Wands there. We have something kind of similar coming up from Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. We have the Eyes of Beauty. And this card, it's, God, more cliche stuff coming up now. But it's very much, you know, about our perception. It's, you know, a glass that's half full, it's the same as a glass that's half empty, but some of us are going to see it one way, some of us will see it another. And the warning, I guess, of this card is, are you seeing things clearly? It feels like you are with that Pentacles energy. If you still have doubts lingering, because that's what this could be, right? That internal conflict. But look at the rest of the spread. I mean, you have the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Cups, the Star, the Queen of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands. Those are all kind of very dynamic, very kind of positive energies that you can use to move forward, to progress. And this feels, this is in the advice. So this is what's telling you that, you know, you might have doubts, or there could be other people getting involved. But if you had to compete with someone, think about it. Are you going to just say, oh my God, okay, well, you know, someone's challenging me, I'm going to back off? Or do you think, oh, great, I'm going to go show them what's what?